Hello friends, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's session. Yes, am I audible and visible? Yes guys. So guys, hello everyone. Hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to studyIQ IAS English. And today we are going to study about another important ruler of Tughluq dynasty. And his name is Muhammad bin Tughluq. Okay? Okay, thank you everyone. Good afternoon. Muhammad bin Tughluq. Now, yesterday we had seen about the Tughluq dynasty. We had also seen about we have seen about the Tughluq dynasty, and apart from this, we have also seen about how Muhammad bin Tughluq came to power by killing his own father. Rather than saying killing his own father, probably it's not proven, but majorly the suspicion goes on Muhammad bin Tughluq. And we have seen the entire story, particularly how this person Muhammad bin Tughluq came to power. Muhammad bin Tughluq, also referred an ill-fated idealist. He is also referred as the most unfortunate ruler of the Tughluq dynasty. And many of them also believe one thing, that Muhammad bin Tughluq, he used to take decision in a very, ravish manner. Particularly speaking, he is also referred as ill-fated idealist and a wise fool. Why fool? Because of the decisions and the experiments that he has done. And why wise? Wise basically means one thing. Here he was very literate person. He is considered one of the most literate person not only of Tughluq dynasty but of entire Delhi Sultanate. But although being such an educated person, still he took decisions in such a vague manner. Okay, so all these things have been depicted about Muhammad bin Tughluq. So guys, before I begin with the experiments of Muhammad bin Tughluq, before I begin with Muhammad bin Tughluq, for the aspirants, those who are new to the platform, let me tell you about one important aspect particularly related to Ghiyasuddin Tughluq. See guys, we have seen yesterday how Ghiyasuddin Tughluq, also referred as Ghazi Malik, came to power particularly by dethroning Khusro Khan. And in this, he took the help of his son Juna Khan, also referred as Fakhruddin Malik Juna Khan or Muhammad bin Tughluq. In that case, he is also referred as Ulugh Khan. So, we had seen how this person came to power. Now, let me talk about the Bengal expedition that was led by Ghiyasuddin Tughluq. I'll repeat the points again within 2 minutes so that the aspirants, those who are new to the platform, can easily correlate the things that we are going to discuss today. Okay? Now, Ghiyasuddin Tughluq, he went on an expedition to the region of Bengal. And particularly when he went to the expedition in the region of Bengal, his Bengal expedition was quite successful. At that time, when he was coming back from Bengal, a Shamiana was being erected or constructed for his welcome. But it is believed by many historians that the Shamiana that was being erected for his welcome was purposely made loose so that the entire Shamiana will fall on this person Ghazi Malik or Ghiyasuddin Tughluq, and probably he will die at that time. This was a plot created by one of his sons, Juna Khan, also referred as Muhammad bin Tughluq, as per various historians. The death of Ghiyasuddin Tughluq, as per few historians, was also because of the curse of a Sufi saint referred as Nizamuddin Auliyaji, also referred as Mehboob-e-Illahi. And the curse goes, I have told you or narrated the entire story in the previous lecture, a short part of it. When this person, Ghiyasuddin Tughluq, was constructing the fort of, Tughlaqabad, it is believed that there were many workers working for it. At the same time, a step well was being constructed by Nizamuddin Auliya. So the workers used to work in the morning at the Tughlaqabad fort, and in the evening they used to work particularly in the Bauli or step well. And this person came to know about, or Ghiyasuddin came to know about this. And in that case, many historians believe that he beheaded many of the workers and he stopped working and he stopped them from working at the Bauli. Nizamuddin Aulia cursed that particularly he won't be coming back from his expedition in the region of Bengal. Although he came back, he still died on the way. So hence many believe that Tughlaqabad fort is a result of a curse given by Nizamuddin Aulia ji. And now comes on the throne who is also referred as a wise fool or an ill-fated idealist in the form of Muhammad bin Tughluq. Muhammad bin Tughluq is quite well known for his 5 experiments that he has done. And we are going to understand each and every experiment in a very strategic and in a very simplified manner so that all your concepts will get clear. Hope you got the point still here, guys. Okay? Hope the things are clear till here. Please stick in the video till the end. The class would be approximately again of 50 minutes to 1 hour class. But here I am going to discuss important experiments done by Muhammad bin Tughluq. Important concepts and terminologies. Apart from this, different facts. So please have a pen and paper along with you so that you can note down important facts, concepts and terminologies. So let's begin with Muhammad bin Tughluq. Muhammad bin Tughluq, he came to throne by killing his own father, Ghiyasuddin Tughluq, as per many historians. His original name is Fakhruddin Malik Juna Khan, also referred as Ulugh Khan. Muhammad bin Tughluq is also referred, particularly, he followed Nubuwa. Now, what is Nubuwa? Nubuwa basically means he followed an ideal human behavior. In that case, he believed one thing. What is Nubuwa? Like prophets. These are not the people who are, these are not the, saints who are selected by the people. In fact, they have been selected by the gods. And whatever the prophets have said, it is a responsibility and duty to follow that. And that is referred as Nubuwa, an ideal human behavior. In that case, Muhammad bin Tughluq not only followed the ideal human behavior, but he expected the others to follow the ideal human behavior. This person is known for all sorts of experiments. Okay? Ziauddin Barani has mentioned about his experiments. Apart from this, Ibn Battuta, a Moroccan traveler who stayed in the court of Muhammad bin Tughluq for 8 years and worked as a qazi, have mentioned about the experiments of Muhammad bin Tughluq. Now, why this person got quite infamous in the books of history? Now, let's explore that. The first major experiment that was done by Muhammad bin Tughluq was the experiment of transfer of capital. See, many a times, although this person, Ibn Battuta, who was a Moroccan traveler and worked as a qazi in the court of Muhammad bin Tughluq, he wrote a book called as Kitab-ul-Rihla or Safarnama Rihla. And in that book, particularly, Muhammad bin Tughluq, he took a wise decision initially to shift the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. And there was a reason for shifting the capital. Why? As I have told you about the time of Ghiyasuddin Tughluq, Ghiyasuddin Tughluq had faced Mongols not only on one occasion. He has faced Mongols on 29 occasions when he was working as a governor and commander for Khiljis. And at that time, Juna Khan had observed everything, that it is quite unsafe here to keep one's position intact in the region of Delhi. Because Delhi, it has been attacked by many foreign invaders. Hence, I need to build an alternate capital in the region of Devgiri or Daulatabad in the Deccan region. Okay? So he decided to shift the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, which is approximately 1300 to 1500 kilometers from Delhi. Now, Ibn Battuta in his book writes one thing. People initially were asked to migrate from Delhi to Daulatabad. But when people ignored this, but when people did not listen to the request of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, people were forced to migrate from the region of Delhi to Daulatabad. Historian V.D. Mahajan writes in his book, a blind man was dragged to Daulatabad. This was also highlighted by Ibn Battuta in Safarnama Rehla, that a blind man or a visually challenged person who could not see, he was forcefully taken to Daulatabad. Now, why this experiment is considered as a failed experiment, although major provisions were done by this person? Like, it is believed that before shifting the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, special provisions were done. What was that? Shady trees were planted approximately for 1200 kilometers, particularly from Delhi to Daulatabad. Every 2 to 4 miles, there were sarais. Sarais are particularly the rest houses. In that case, if people are migrating from one place to the other place, they will get tired. They'll get exhausted. So people require a place to rest. So he constructed sarais on the way. Proper care was taken, like specifically it is believed that there were water tanks were being constructed. And all these things find mention in Safarnama Rehla written by Ibn Battuta. But few things were being ignored by this person. The climate of Delhi at that time was quite different in comparison to the present day climate, correct? So the climate of Delhi at that time was different, and the climate and the geography of Daulatabad was different. Like, when the people reached Daulatabad, it is believed that the resources were quite scant. There were no proper resources that were being available. Apart from this, it is also believed that, I'll give you a small example, that there were many water reservoirs that have been dried up. Many people perished on the way. In simple words, they died on the way. Many people died in Daulatabad. Okay? Now, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, after reaching Daulatabad, takes another important decision. And that decision is retransfer of capital from Daulatabad to Delhi. So it's a misdirected, in simple words, it is nothing but, Daulatabad was a monument of a misdirected energy. And this was said by a Western historian named as Lanpool. Correct? So in simple words, he spent a lot of money. He had taken every care that the people should not have any sorts of discomfort. But the destiny had something different written for him. And after spending lakhs of tankas on this became a failed experiment. And finally, he had to retransfer the capital from Daulatabad to Delhi. The first failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hope you understood the first failed experiment. Okay? Then moving on to the next one. Now, before I speak about the Khorasan expedition, let me tell you about the introduction of token currency. Now, why introduction of token currency was another failed experiment? I'm trying to correlate things in a chronological manner. So, first experiment was transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, followed by introduction of token currency. Now, pay attention carefully. Muhammad bin Tughlaq at that time was falling short of gold and silver. And this finds mention in the books of Ziauddin Barani. This finds mention in the travelogue Safarnama Rehla. So what did he do? He introduced a token currency, a copper currency. And he declared that it will have the same legal tender like the silver coins. Okay? He was also inspired by the rulers of China and Persia. Like he was inspired by Gai Khatu. He was inspired by Kublai Khan, who had introduced paper currency. So he thought of introducing a token currency. So he introduced a token currency, which was copper. And he said that it will have the same value, it will have the same legal tender like the silver coins. Okay? As soon as he introduced it, like it is believed that the house of every person became a mint. Why? Because these coins could be easily forged. These coins could be easily replicated. And in that case, what happened? The entire market was flooded with substandard coins, with the fake coins, and his treasury got depleted. In fact, he had to put in all the gold and silver again back into the market so that he can remove those copper currency. And the gold coins were referred as dinar, whereas the silver coins were referred as adl. Okay? Whereas the silver coin was referred as adl. So what happened in that case? Again, second failed experiment. Okay? The market got crashed, his economy got completely suppressed, and now he was running out of resources. Okay? But what did this person do? He never stopped here. He experimented with another important thing, that was nothing but Khorasan expedition. So I'll repeat the point of token currency. Okay. Now this person introduced token currency which was made of copper. It could be easily forged. It could be easily minted by anyone. Entire market was flooded with the fake currencies. And he was inspired by whom? He was inspired by Kublai Khan. He was inspired by Gai Khatu in this. These are the Persian and the Chinese rulers. Okay. And although he was inspired by them, what happened? He did not take care of the proper minting of the coins. So it is believed that at that time, many historians write that the house of every Hindu became a mint. Okay. And so finally, he had to put back all the gold and silver again to take back that copper currency. Now comes the Khorasan expedition. Now, what is Khorasan expedition all about? And again, why this is considered as the most important failed experiments of Muhammad bin Tughluq? Let's understand. Hope you understood the previous two. The first one was transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad and retransfer of capital from Daulatabad to Delhi. The second one, particularly the introduction of token currency. Second failed experiment. Third failed experiment, Khorasan expedition. Okay. Now listen to me carefully. As I've talked about the Mongolian invasion previously, as I've talked about how Mongols played a very crucial role by following the policy of expansionism and imperialism in conquering the major parts of Central Asia, Transoxiana and Persia. It is believed that Genghis Khan and his descendants particularly destroyed 1.5% of the population of the world at that time through their imperialistic ruthless approach. Correct? So the region of Transoxiana, that is Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, all these regions, like particularly, were being ruled by whom? The Mongols. And in fact, even by the region of Iran and Iraq were ruled by Mongols. But the situation got changed after the death of Genghis Khan. Now, after the death of Genghis Khan, the entire Mongols in the Central Asia and Middle East particularly were divided into two parts. One who ruled over the region of Iran and Iraq, particularly around the region of Persia. Many historians believe that Khorasan is located near Iraq. Okay. So after death of Genghis Khan, the Mongols were majorly divided into two parts. One which ruled over the region of Persia, Iran and Iraq, and the others that ruled over the region of Transoxiana, consisting of Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and so on. The people who ruled over the region of Transoxiana were Chagatai Turks, again a branch of Mongols, and the other was Hulagu Khan. And Hulagu Khan was also, he ruled over the region of this, Persia. During the time of Muhammad bin Tughluq, what happened? These two, empires were declining. And this was seen by whom? This was seen by Muhammad bin Tughluq as an opportunity to conquer the region of Central Asia, particularly the region of Khorasan. Why? Because in the region of Khorasan, there was a minor who was sitting on the throne whose name was Abu Said. Are you getting the points? Why this person decided, Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to attack the region of Khorasan? I'll repeat the points again in short. Pay attention carefully. Why did Muhammad bin Tughlaq plan a failed experiment in the region of Khorasan? Now, as we have seen, the Mongols have acquired the major part of Central Asia, Transoxiana. Genghis Khan and his descendants, as per many historians, have destroyed 1.5% population of the world at that time. And after the death of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire, particularly in Middle East and Central Asia, was majorly divided into two parts: Persia, Iran and Iraq, and Transoxiana. In the region of Transoxiana, it was being ruled by Chagatai Khanate or Chagatai Turks. On the other hand, Hulagu Khan ruled over the Persia. By the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, both these empires started declining. And this was seen as an opportunity by Muhammad bin Tughlaq to capture the region of Central Asia so that he could permanently erase the Mongolian threat. That was a plan in the mind of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay? Now what happened? Who instigated Muhammad bin Tughlaq? As I've told you, since these two empires were declining, there were many nobles who fled away from these empires and they came in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq and they instigated Muhammad bin Tughlaq to go for an expedition. Okay. Now Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he knew one important thing. I cannot carry on this expedition single-handedly. I need support of some other rulers. Although I understand, because Khorasan at this time is ruled by a minor whose name is Abu Said. Although I can defeat him. Okay. But I do not know the geography of this place. Correct? How to reach the terrains of Central Asia, I do not know about this. And in that case, I require an alliance to support me. So he formed a triple alliance. And this triple alliance consisted of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, one person. The other one was Tarmashirin. He was the particularly governor of Transoxiana. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Tarmashirin, and ruler of Egypt. These three formed triple alliance against Abu Said, who was a minor. Got it? Now what happened further? Let's understand. Now further, it is believed that after some time, this person, Tarmashirin, died. Ruler of Egypt, he parted away. Why? Because there was internal squabbles within his own nobility. Just one person was left, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he had to take back this experiment. There's a reason behind that, and why it is called as a failed experiment, I'll tell you. Now, guys, whenever there is a chaotic situation or the situation of a turmoil between two kingdoms, what happens? It is an opportunity for the other kingdom to attack, destroy, and take over that kingdom. But it should be immediate. Correct? Your army should be ready for that. What did Muhammad bin Tughlaq do? We have studied previously in Balban that Balban had created a department called as Diwan-e-Arz department. That is particularly military department. Correct? So it is believed that just for Khorasan expedition, apart from the mainstream army, Muhammad bin Tughlaq had appointed 370,000 men. Apart from the mainstream army. Okay. He paid them salary in advance, thinking of that, since I will attack and conquer the region of Khorasan and I'll plunder the region, so I'll have a lot of booty, I'll have a lot of money. Okay? So whatever money that I'm spending on the soldiers right now, I will regain it back. And these soldiers were sitting idle for next 1 to 1.5 years. They were paid salaries in cash. Apart from this, there were many nobles and there were many soldiers who were given iktas. Iktas means a piece of land. Okay? And at this time, as I've told you, Tarmashrin, he died. Ruler of Egypt, he parted his ways. Correct? And this person was left alone, particularly. So at this point of time, his treasury got depleted. And now he decided that I have to take back the Khorasan expedition. I cannot afford to pay these soldiers, these 370,000 men. Okay? Because it was a burden on the exchequer. So this is considered as the third main failed experiment of whom? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Many historians like Ziauddin Barani, they write one thing. Suppose this person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he leads an expedition to Khorasan, although he did not lead. But suppose he leads an expedition to Khorasan, what are the chances of success? Think analytically, guys. Just ponder upon it. First of all, fighting in plain areas and fighting in the desert region or fighting in the areas which are quite different from the plain areas is quite different. Second thing, now going to Central Asia, your huge army has to cross the Khyber Pass located in Hindu Kush mountains. This person has completely ignored the geographical terrain. Correct? Because from plain area, you have to go to the snow-clad hills of Hindu Kush mountains. You have to cross them. And then you have to go into Central Asia and fight the battle. First thing. Second thing, how will you carry the resources? Because you are quite distant from your, what we say, the place where you're ruling. I'll give you a very small example. We have talked about the Battle of Kili, correct? And in Battle of Kili, I've explained you why, what we say, Mongols had to retreat against, what we say, Alauddin Khilji. There was a reason. Alauddin Khilji was just 15 to 20 kilometers away from Delhi at a place called as Kili. And in that case, when he was moving back, okay, at that place when he was moving back, what happened? He could have easily reached that place. Isn't that so? But Mongols, they were quite far away from Central Asia. So this was a thing that needs to be learned from the Khilji at that time. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, what we say, he ignored everything. So many historians although believe that since this person, although he did not attack Khorasan, but still, if he could have attacked Khorasan, it would be disastrous step that would be taken by him. So that was the third major failed experiment of what we say, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hope you understood the Khorasan expedition, guys. Please keep the session interactive. If you have any doubt, please stop me and ask. Yes, Uday. Yes. What was the name of Balban's reserved army? I'll tell you a small example. Diwan-e-Arz. Diwan-e-Arz was a separate military department. Okay. First thing that we need to understand. And Balban, particularly, he created this department because initially Wazir was responsible for finance and defense both. But at this point of time, to curb the Mongol invasion, he created a separate department, Diwan-e-Arz. Second, Professor Harry, you have a question. Ikta was abolished by Khilji, then how now? Ikta system was not abolished by Khilji. I have never said this. My friend, please remember one thing. I have said Ikta system was started by Iltutmish. Turkane-Chahalgani system was started by Iltutmish. Turkane-Chahalgani system was abolished by Balban. I have never said in my previous sessions as well that Ikta system was abolished. Iqtadars were made transferable. Okay. Ikta was made hereditary during the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. But Ikta was never abolished. It was Turkane-Chahalgani system that was abolished by Balban. Hope so, Professor Harry, I am clear. Okay. Yes, guys, did you understand these three experiments? Okay. Now, sometimes what happened, it is not only about the experiments or it is not only about the specifically if we talk about, just a second, taxation in the Doab, did I explain? It is not only about the experiment that he has undertaken or it is not only about the, what we say, like he lavishly spent every money on what he thought. Okay. Sometimes it is also the luck that plays a very major role. His first experiment got failed. his second experiment got failed, his third experiment got failed, economy was suffering, correct? It was completely in a devastating state. So how to revamp that economy was again a very crucial challenge for this person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Correct? I'll give a small example about, I was reading about Humayun. You might have heard about Humayun. So one thing I understood, okay, in Delhi Sultanate, the most literate ruler was whom? So what do we learn from history here? Okay, the most literate ruler was Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the most unsuccessful ruler was Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And it is believed that the person who was illiterate in Delhi Sultanate was Alauddin Khilji. And Alauddin Khilji is considered as the most successful ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Coming to the Mughals, the most literate Mughal ruler was Humayun, son of Babur, the eldest son of Babur. And Humayun, like he was the most literate ruler. Humayun basically means fortunate, but he is considered as the most unsuccessful ruler of the Mughals. On the other hand, Akbar, he was not that literate, but still history glorifies him as the most, what we say, successful ruler. Okay, so what does history teaches here? It is not necessary to be studious to be successful. Isn't that so? As we have seen, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the most literate one, still unsuccessful. So coming back, so sometimes here we see that this person, although he might be thinking of doing something good for the people, but destiny has written something different for him. Now this person, what happened? Now the Hindus became the enemy of Muhammad bin Tughlaq here. Now how they became enemy of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, I'll tell you another thing. Okay. Small example, taxes in the Doab. Already his token currency experiment has failed. Already he has spent lakhs of tankas, particularly on 3,70,000 additional men that were being recruited in Diwan-e-Arz department and the failed Khorasan expedition. Already he has, like in the process of transferring the capital and retransferring the capital to Delhi, he had spent lakhs of tankas. So now to run the administration, for the smooth functioning of the administration, he required money. And where will the money come from? The money will come from taxation. Now, at that time, the most fertile region was Ganga, Yamuna, Doab. And the peasants or the cultivators in this region were quite prosperous. So he thought of taxing the people in Ganga, Yamuna, Doab additionally. So apart from the normal taxes that the peasants had to pay in Ganga, Yamuna, Doab, apart from that, they had to pay the taxes 8 to 10 times more. Okay? 8 to 10 times more. Why? There's a reason behind that. And what is the reason? Particularly, he has to, what we say, incur his losses. What he has to, what we say, get back the losses that he had incurred previously. Now what happened? Unfortunately, he increased the taxes by 8 to 10 times. Meanwhile, there was a situation of famine in the region of Ganga, Yamuna, Doab. And the situation of famine did not stop here. It was followed by plague. The peasants are unable to pay the money. Okay. Apart from this, what happened? They are not able to pay the money. Apart from this, what happened? There was a situation of famine. It was followed by what? It was followed by particularly plague. In that case, the peasants were unable to pay the taxation to Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But Muhammad bin Tughlaq now thought of doing something good for the peasants. But again, destiny did not support him. This is again, I will personally feel that here the luck of Muhammad bin Tughlaq played a very crucial role rather than his decision-making abilities. Correct? How? There was a famine followed by plague, but now he thought that I should work for the welfare of the peasants. And to work for the welfare of the peasants, this person started one department called as Diwan-e-Kohi department. And Diwan-e-Kohi department is nothing but agriculture department. So as he started agriculture department, he selected a particular area. Many historians believe that it was 64 square miles, Few historians believe that it was 70 square miles, and few historians believe that it was 84 square miles area. So he selected that area, and particularly he spent 70 lakh tankas to what we say regain the lost fertility of the soil through the irrigation system. After 2 to 3 years, he realized one thing, that all the money that he has spent, 70 lakh tankas, has gone in vain. Why? Because the land that was chosen, that was barren or infertile, and hardly it could produce anything. Fourth failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So although here he tried to do something good for the people, but his luck did not support him. Isn't that so? Like actually he overtaxed the people. He overtaxed the peasants. But in that case, like although as a well-wisher he thought that I should work for the welfare of the peasants now. So what did he do? In that case, he spent 70 lakh tankas for replenishing approximately 64 square miles or 84 square miles or 70 square miles of land. 2 to 3 years he spent hefty amount of money. And in the end, he came to realize one thing, that all the money that he has spent has gone in vain because the land that he has chosen was completely barren. Fourth failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And then coming up to the last experiment that was a failed experiment, and it was Qarachil expedition. Now, what is Qarachil expedition all about? As I have told you previously, why Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to transfer the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. In his mind, see, although Ziauddin Barani, the contemporary historian of that time, although Ibn Battuta writes one reason that particularly it was a failed experiment or anything, but in his mind he had one thing, he wanted to protect his people from Mongol invasion. Hence he shifted the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, or he aspired to shift the capital. Similarly here, he wanted to prevent Delhi from Chinese incursion and Mongol invasion. So in that case, he need to protect his border areas, because once the border areas are protected, what will happen? The Mongol or any foreign invasions for that sake towards Delhi will become impossible. Or in that case, even if they cross these border areas, what will happen? They won't be able to come to Delhi in a fast manner. So it would be quite easier to contain the enemies. So what did this person thought? Why shouldn't I capture the region around the mountainous regions, so that I can stop the foreign invasions, particularly the Chinese and Mongol incursions? Now what happened? One mistake that was done. And history teaches us everything. History teaches that one thing, we should learn from the past mistakes. Mahmud of Ghazni, as we have studied, and we have studied about that person, Mahmud of Ghazni, in quite depth and detail. And I've told you why Mahmud of Ghazni was successful in every raid that he did in India. He had conducted more than 17 raids in India and he was successful in every raid. One reason. And what was that? Just a second, guys. Hold on. Sorry for the interruption. So, Mahmud of Ghazni had conducted 17 raids in India and he was successful in every raid. What was the reason? The reason was he attacked strategically. He focused on staggering cavalry, and second thing, he was aware about the geography of India. How? We studied that he usually attacked India prior to the onset of monsoon. Isn't that so? Why? Because he knew one thing. During the monsoon season, particularly the rivers of North India, Ganga, Indus and its various tributaries are overflooded. So he used to attack before the onset of the monsoon and he used to go back before the onset of the monsoon. This person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he wanted to capture the regions of Himalayas, particularly Kumaon Garhwal region. And he attacked this region particularly during the monsoon season. Now, it is believed that thousands of soldiers died. Secondly, the local tribes, they defeated this person or the army of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And particularly the role here was being played by a Pahadi Rajput ruler whose name was Dharam Chand. So Dharam Chand played a very crucial role in defeating the army of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Secondly, nature played another important role. As I have told you, the army of Muhammad bin Tughlaq particularly attacked during which time? During the monsoon season. So this is considered as the fifth failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq particularly is known for his different failed experiments. So these are the 5 failed experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hope you understood them. Yes, guys. Any question? I'll repeat them again within short. Yes, any questions? Any doubt? Yes, Uday, perfect. Before the monsoon, Professor Harry, again the attack speed. See, the first failed experiment, which included the transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad and retransfer of capital from Daulatabad to Delhi. Okay. Second major failed experiment particularly was what? Second major failed experiment, which included introduction of token currency. Token currency was introduced particularly because he was inspired from Gai Khatu, the ruler of Persia, and the other one was Kublai Khan. Again, second failed experiment. Third, Khorasan expedition. Khorasan, probably the region around Iraq. It was going through a situation of turmoil and a chaotic situation. And in this chaotic situation, he deployed, he recruited 370,000 men into Diwane Arz so that he could conquer the region of Khorasan. But he had to take back his experiments since he was running out of resources. Third failed experiment. Fourth, increase of taxes in the region of Ganga, Yamuna, Doab. Fourth failed experiment. He also wanted to conquer the region of Kumaon and Garhwal, particularly the Himalayan regions. Why? So that he could prevent the Chinese or Mongolian, or for that sake, any foreign incursions. Again, he deployed his army particularly during the monsoon season, and this was again another failed experiment of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay. Now let's understand within short. The session is hardly of 10 to 15 minutes more, maximum 20 minutes. Now let's understand particularly about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, how he conquered the other regions. Like I'll tell you one of the examples of Nagarkot. Nagarkot, particularly during the ancient period, was referred as Bhimkot or Trigarta. And Trigarta basically means it is because of the 3 rivers. The fort of Nagarkot, located in Kangra region of Himachal Pradesh, was also referred as Bhimkot or Trigarta. The name Trigarta comes from 3 rivers: Satluj, Byas and Ravi. These are the tributaries of river Yamuna. And this kingdom, it finds mention in Mahabharat. It finds the region of Nagarkot, Bhimkot or Trigarta finds mention in Mahabharat. It finds mention in the Puranas. It finds mention in Rajat Rangini written by Kalhan. It also finds mention in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. So this was a very important region. It is believed that when Mahmud of Ghazni came to India, he attacked the fort of Nagarkot. Although initially he was successful, but later on he could not plunder this fort. Later on, it was again attacked by Muhammad Ghori. He was not that successful. Alauddin Khilji, he tried to conquer the fort of Nagarkot because of strategic importance. Okay. Because of the strategic importance, he wanted to conquer the fort of Nagarkot located in Kangra region. He was also not that successful. But Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was successful in conquering the fort of Nagarkot. The Raja here offered stiff resistance, but he was not that successful. But after some time, the fort of Nagarkot, again it got free from the Delhi Sultanate. Later on, it was again being conquered by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay. So this was the expedition led by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. I'll repeat in short. Uday, you have a question. What was the concept of Kumaon Garhwal region? Kumaon Garhwal, see, you might have heard about the Uttarakhand region, the Himalayan regions, the Kumaon and the Garhwal. These are the hilly terrains. So what happens? I'll give a small example, a very small example for easier understanding of the concept. Like everyone, pay attention, please. Uday Raj ji has asked a question. Sir, why was Muhammad bin Tughlaq interested in conquering the region of Kumaon Garhwal? I had already explained that. Okay. Suppose this is Delhi. Suppose this is the northern part of India. Okay. Here are Hindu Kush mountains. Pay attention carefully. This is Hindu Kush mountain. Here it is Delhi. Here there is Delhi. Now, after crossing the Khyber Pass, which is located in Hindu Kush mountains, what happens? And after crossing the, what we say, mountainous terrain, the tribes, they come into the foreign incursions, they come particularly in the plain areas. So, Delhi becomes quite easily accessible for the foreign invaders. But what happens here? Once we conquer the region around the mountains, suppose the enemy has crossed the Khyber Pass in Hindu Kush mountain, and just outside the Hindu Kush mountain, the army of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, or for that sake, any other ruler is standing. What will happen? They will drive out the army from here itself. The army won't be able to come into the plain areas around the region of Delhi. Hence, he had a plan to conquer the region or the mountainous regions of Kumaon Garhwal, particularly from this side, so that they can protect the Chinese incursion. That was the main purpose. Hope, Udayraj ji, I have made your concept clear. Yes? Okay. Hope you understood this part. Nagarkot. So Nagarkot, again in short, Nagarkot, it finds mention in Mahabharat, Purans, Panini's Ashtadhyayi, also referred as Bhimkot or Trigarta. Now, this was initially captured by Mahmud of Ghazni, but he was not that successful. Later on, it was being captured by Alauddin Khilji. Again, he was not that successful. Muhammad bin Tughlaq finally captured the fort of Nagarkot. But it got free later, which was reconquered by whom? Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Now moving on with the Bengal. Bengal during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, it got separated from Delhi Sultanate. How? Now, the Bairam Khan, he was governor of Bengal. And Bairam Khan has a personal bodyguard named as Fakhruddin. What happened? This person, Fakhruddin, he killed his own master, Bairam Khan. And after killing his own master, he declared himself as the new governor. And after some time, he declared himself as the Sultan. I am completely independent. I do not owe allegiance to Tughlaq dynasty. And Fakhruddin completely declared his independence after killing his own master, Bairam Khan. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, sitting in Delhi, came to know about this. And immediately Muhammad bin Tughlaq dispatched one of his governors of Lakhnauti. Okay, one of the governors of Lakhnauti, whose name was Qadar Khan. In fact, Qadar Khan was also killed. So finally what happened? Fakhruddin, he read khutbah in his name. He struck coins in his name and declared himself as independent. So Bengal, particularly during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, became independent from Delhi Sultanate. I repeat again the point. Please note down if you want to. During the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the province of Bengal was being governed by Bairam Khan. Bairam Khan had a bodyguard whose name was Fakhruddin. He was an armor bearer, a bodyguard. Now, his own armor bearer, Fakhruddin, killed his own master, Bairam Khan, and declared himself independent. Muhammad bin Tughlaq came to know about this. Immediately, Muhammad bin Tughlaq dispatched the, governor from the neighboring state of Lakhnauti. He was also being killed, Qadar Khan. And finally, what happened? This person, Fakhruddin, declared himself as independent, and after declaring himself as independent, he became the independent ruler of Bengal. Okay. Oudh or Awadh. Now pay attention carefully. We have seen about the role of Ain-ul-Mulk Multani since the time of Khiljis. Okay? I'll again repeat few points for easier understanding of the concept. If you remember the time of Alauddin Khilji, guys, even at that time, I have spoken about this person, Ain-ul-Mulk Multani. Correct? He was made as the governor of Malwa at that time. Like particularly, what happened? Alauddin Khilji, he sent Ulugh Khan and Nusrat Khan to capture the region of Gujarat, and he sent Ain-ul-Mulk Multani to capture the region of Malwa. We have studied the strategic importance of Gujarat and Malwa. Gujarat, it was a coastal state and had a lot of trading prospects. On the other hand, Malwa opens the door of South India. Hence, Alauddin Khilji captured the region of Gujarat and Malwa. And Ain-ul-Mulk Multani, after conquering the region of Malwa, was made as the governor of Malwa. Malwa is western part of Madhya Pradesh. Ujjain, Dhar, Mandu, Indore, and so on. Okay, moving ahead. After Alauddin Khilji, he was being, Malik Kafur came on the throne, but he was being deposed by one of the sons of Alauddin Khilji, Qutbuddin Mubarak Shah. Qutbuddin Mubarak Shah was killed by whom? Khusro Khan. And we had seen the entire story yesterday in depth and detail. So Khusro Khan, what happened at that time? This person during the time of Khusro Khan also, he was the governor of, this place, Malwa. But during the time of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, he was transferred from Malwa to Awadh. And at the same time, during the time, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was succeeded by his son, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So in simple words, here, during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq also, he was the governor of Awadh. So just do not get confused in a very simple manner. Initially, Ain-ul-Mulk Multani was governor of Malwa during the previous ruler, and during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, okay, he was the governor of Awadh. Okay, yes, Multani was now initially working under Alauddin Khilji, later under Khusro Khan, and finally under Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hope, Yash, the point is clear. Okay, now, simple words, he was the governor of Awadh now. Now what happened? Pay attention carefully. As I have told you, one of the failed experiments of this person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, included taxation in the region of Doab. Isn't that so? Like 8 to 10 times he increased the taxes. And at the same time, there was a situation of famine followed by plague in the region of Doab. So what happened at that time? This person took different steps. Similarly, Ain-ul-Mulk Multani, he took different steps in the region of Awadh for the welfare of the peasants. In fact, he spent a lot of money so that he could replenish the fertility of the soil. Secondly, he spent a lot of money for canal irrigation and so on. After some time, Muhammad bin Tughlaq transferred him. He was transferred to Daulatabad. But Ain-ul-Mulk Multani, now he became furious that I have done good for the welfare of the peasants and cultivators. Then why are you transferring me from one ikta to other ikta? Why are you transferring me from Awadh to Daulatabad? So at that point of time, Muhammad bin Tughlaq did not listen to him. But Ain-ul-Mulk Multani, because Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he thought that Ain-ul-Mulk Multani, although he's supporting the peasants, but he can develop a very strong influence in that region. And I cannot afford another rebellion now. Hence, it is necessary to transfer this person from Awadh to Daulatabad. But this person became infuriated, he became annoyed, angry. I have done good for the welfare of the cultivators and the peasants. On what grounds are you transferring me to the region of Daulatabad? This person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the words of Multani fell on a deaf ears. Muhammad bin Tughlaq hardly cared about this. Multani was forced to rebel. But Muhammad bin Tughlaq dispatched an army and finally Multani was being crushed. He was being defeated. But when Multani was being defeated, what happened? Particularly, this person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, realized that Multani actually did not had any intention to take over my throne. In fact, he was working for the welfare of the peasants and the cultivators and obeying my orders. So he's a half-hearted rebel. Again, he was restored back to the governor of Awadh. So that was a story of Ain-ul-Mulk Multani and his role particularly against whom? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So hope you understood the Nagarkot part. Hope you understood how Bengal, it got separated from Delhi Sultanate now under Fakhruddin. Okay. Third point was how this person Multani. Okay. Yes, Yash, Multani initially did not challenge Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and in fact, he did not had any intention to challenge Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But since Muhammad bin Tughlaq transferred him from Awadh to Daulatabad, he challenged Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay? Although he was crushed, but later on, his position was restored back to him. Hope the point is clear, Yash. Okay. So that was a point of Awadh. Now moving on to Vijayanagar Empire. Now, how the foundation of Vijayanagar Empire was a setback, particularly to the territories of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, particularly in the Deccan region. Now, Vijayanagar Empire was founded by Harihar and Bukka, two brothers. Now, out of 5 brothers, 2 brothers, Harihar and Bukka, they were working as feudatories for Kakatiyas of Warangal. Okay? And particularly, what happened? They were working as feudatories for Kakatiyas of Warangal. Now, when Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he attacked, what happened? These 2 brothers, Harihar and Bukka, they were being imprisoned initially. They were taken to Delhi. And many historians do write in their books, Harihar and Bukka were forced to get converted into Islam, were forced to accept Islam, and they both of them got converted into Islam. After some time, at a place called as Kampili, there was a revolt. Okay? And to suppress the revolt, what happened? Particularly, these 2 brothers were sent, Harihar and Bukka. But Harihar and Bukka, although they were forcefully converted into Islam, they were loyal towards whom initially? The Kakatiyas of Warangal. And when they came to Kampili to suppress the revolt, at that time, Imad-ul-Mulk, he was the governor. Okay? Imad-ul-Mulk thought that these 2 brothers are coming to help me. But later on, these 2 brothers, Harihar and Bukka, they were opposed to the governor Imad-ul-Mulk. And Imad-ul-Mulk had to run away. He ran away. And as this person ran away, it is believed that the foundation of Vijayanagar Empire was being laid down by Harihar and Bukka. And there were 16 consecutive rulers, particularly after them, who came to power. So, foundation of Vijayanagar Empire again threatened the position of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, particularly in the region of Deccan. Okay, I'll repeat the points again in short for easier understanding of the concept. We'll see the points again. Just a minute. Out of 5 brothers, 2 brothers, that is Harihar and Bukka, both of them particularly were working as feudatories for the Kakatiyas of Warangal. With the passage of time, Kakatiyas of Warangal, they started declining. We had seen yesterday Pratap Rudradev, he was being captured, correct, by this same person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Isn't that so? Because at the time of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was sent to capture the region of Warangal. In fact, Pratap Rudradev committed suicide by drowning himself in the river Narmada. Okay, and Ganamman Nayak, we have seen, he was converted into Islam and was referred as Maqbul. Similarly, when these people were attacked, when the region was attacked, particularly the region of Kampili located in Karnataka, what happened? Harihar and Bukka, they were being captured and imprisoned. Later on, they were being taken to Delhi and forcefully converted into Islam. After some time, Kampili, which was under Imad-ul-Mulk, one of the governors, what happened? There was a revolt here. To suppress the revolt, Muhammad bin Tughlaq dispatched these 2 brothers, Harihar and Bukka. When they came here, they got reconverted into Hinduism. Now, one more point to be noted. Please note down this. Initially, they were converted into what? Islam, forcefully. Now they were reconverted into Hinduism by a Bhakti saint named as Vidyaranya. He reconverted both these brothers into old fold of Hinduism. And now they defeated the governor Imad ul Mulk, who fled to Daulatabad. Okay? And finally, the foundation of Vijayanagar Empire was being laid down by these two brothers. Moving ahead, Malwa and Dhar. As I've told you previously, Malwa, at that time, during the time of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, the governor of Malwa was Ainul Mulk Multani, and Multani was transferred to Awadh. So somebody would be there particularly taking care of Malwa. So there was a person whose name was Aziz Khumar. He was appointed as the governor of Malwa. You won't believe in one fact, and that is, there were many people in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq who were raised from the lower strata to the higher administrative post. How? This person, Aziz Khumar, who is the governor of Malwa, was a wine distiller in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And there are many such other examples. Firoz Hazam, he was a barber and he was raised to the higher level. Ladha and Pira particularly, they were gardeners and they were raised to the military commanders. This person, Manka Tabak was particularly a cook and he was also raised to the higher position of a military commander. So there were many such people in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq who, although belonged to the lower strata, but still they were raised to the higher level by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. As I've given you the example, Aziz Khumar, initially he was a wine distiller. You can Google it. Okay. And then he was raised to the level of governor. So he was the governor of Malwa and Dhar. What happened? This person was killed by Muhammad bin Tughlaq itself. There's a reason behind this. Now, Aziz Khumar, he was a strict governor. But there is a way of imposing things. Before taking any action, you need to take the advice of the Sultan. Correct? Now, at that particular point of time, there were few nobles who had dissenting opinions with Aziz Khumar. It is believed that Aziz Khumar beheaded more than 80 nobles just because these nobles had dissenting opinions to Aziz Khumar. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq came to know about this. As soon as Muhammad bin Tughlaq came to know about this, Aziz Khumar was being beheaded. He was being killed. Like he believed that Aziz Khumar, initially he was a wine distiller and raised to such a level, it was his prime duty to consult Sultan on major issues. And you cannot just kill the nobles if they have dissenting opinions, and you have beheaded more than 80 nobles. So Aziz Khumar was given to, like he was being killed in a very ignominious death. So that was the role of Aziz Khumar. Sagar and Sindh. Sagar, it is located again in the Bundelkhand region of Madhya Pradesh. Bahauddin Gurchap, he was the governor of Sagar. He was being suppressed. Another governor of Sindh, Kishlu Khan, he also revolted and he was also suppressed during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now the time comes when Muhammad bin Tughlaq had to move towards the region of Devgiri and Gujarat. Okay. Now the Afghans, the Hindus and the few local people. Okay. No. Dhar and Thar are different. Yes. Dhar, it is located in Madhya Pradesh. I'll give you a small example. You might have heard about the caves which are related to Buddhism. Bagh caves. So Bagh caves, like you might have heard about Ajanta caves, Ellora caves. Similarly, there are Bagh caves which are located in Dhar district of Madhya Pradesh. And it is located on the banks of river Baghani. So Dhar is a different place and Thar is a different place. Hope, Yash, the point is clear. Okay. Now coming here. So after Sagar and Sindh, Gujarat and Devgiri. Now what happened? Devgiri, the Afghans, the local Hindus, they revolted against whom? Imad ul Mulk. You remember? Imad ul Mulk? Vijayanagar, Harihar and Bukka? Yes. So Imad ul Mulk, he fled away from that region of Vijayanagar. Correct? Particularly. And where did he go? He fled from Kampili and he came to Daulatabad. What happened? He was not able to suppress the revolt here as well. Finally, Muhammad bin Tughlaq had to come. And when Muhammad bin Tughlaq came from Delhi to suppress the revolt got suppressed. He was going back again to Delhi. On the way, he heard a news that a local shoemaker with the influence of nobles, whose name was Tagi, he has revolted against whom? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Immediately, right from Devgiri, he moved towards Gujarat rather than going to Delhi. He moved towards Gujarat, captured different parts of Gujarat such as Bharuch, also referred as Broch, Cambay, also referred as Khambat. He captured many regions. But what happened? Tagi, he fled away to the region of Sindh. Okay? He fled away to the region of Sindh. Now, one thing history had taught us again. And what was that? Never ever leave your enemy half dead. Why? Because in that case, the enemy will try everything to take a revenge. So Tagi, he ran away to the region of Sindh. And since he ran away to the region of Sindh, what happened? This person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, thought that probably Tagi might revolt against me. Okay, revolt against me by taking the help of Thatta. Who was Thatta? Thatta was ruler of Sindh. Okay. Rather than saying Thatta, particularly Thatta, it's a place by the ruler of Sindh, particularly he can revolt against me. He thought this. So what happened? This person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, decided to chase his enemy Tagi. So what happened further? Let's understand. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he proceeded towards the region of Thatta. Okay. And Thatta, it's not a name of a king, it's a name of a place. He reached Thatta, chased Tagi. And when he reached Thatta, what happened? Tagi again ran away from Thatta. It is located in Sindh. Now, this person, he fell seriously ill, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He rested for 3 to 4 days. And after partial recovery, again he started moving towards Sindh. And finally, he reached a place called as Gondal, which is again located in Sindh. And in Gondal, this person died, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And it is believed by many historians that after death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was being succeeded by Firoz Shah Tughlaq immediately in Gondal, in the battlefield itself. Okay? So particularly speaking, what happened? Tagi, the enemy, ran away into the Sindh. And we'll study about the role of Tagi, the ruler of Sindh, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and how did he tackle them tomorrow. So this is how Muhammad bin Tughlaq met his death. So he moved from Devgiri to Gujarat, captured major parts of Gujarat, while attacking Tagi, who ran away to the region of Sindh. Initially he moved towards Thatta, then to Gondal, and finally at Gondal he passed away. So these are the major experiments and the major expeditions led by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hope the points are clear. Okay, now let's talk about one of the departments. Just a second. As I've already told you particularly that Muhammad bin Tughlaq had started an agriculture department which is referred as Diwan-e-Kohi department. He had spent more than particularly 70 lakh tankas to replenish the, barren land. But although it was a failed experiment, as I've told you, many of them believe that it is 64 square miles. Many believe that it was 70 square miles. Many believe that it was 84 square miles. Okay. Then, Ibn Battuta, as I've told you, Ibn Battuta was a Qazi in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Ibn Battuta, he has came from Morocco, traveled Central Asia, and he had come to India and he worked as a Qazi, particularly in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Qazi means Chief Justice. It is believed that he was paid 12,000 dinars as an annual salary by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And how do we come to know that he was being paid 12,000 dinars by Muhammad bin Tughlaq? He notes this down in his book, Kitab-ul-Rihla or Safarnama Rihla. So this person has written a book called as Kitab-ul-Rihla or Safarnama Rihla. This book describes not only about the rule during the period of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who ruled for approximately 26 years, but it also mentions about vivid aspects of Indian society. In Kitab ul Rihla, you will find the mention of the sati system that was prevalent in the northern part of India. You will mention about one of the fruits referred as jackfruit, which in Hindi is referred as katehal, correct? So he mentions in the book, what we say, Kitab ul Rihla, that jackfruit is the loveliest of all the fruits that I have observed in India. Then he moved towards the region of Deccan. He stayed in Deccan for many years, particularly in the region of Daulatabad. Finally, he moves towards the region of Malabar. He writes in Kitab ul Rihla particularly about the fruit of coconut. He also writes about the coast of Kollam and Kochi. So particularly speaking, this person, he has written a book called as Safarnama Rihla or Kitab ul Rihla. He was also sent as an envoy, as an ambassador to the Yuan Emperor of China by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, and in fact, it is believed that, I'll tell you one of the examples. Yuan Emperor of China, he had sent an ambassador also in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, Timur was the name of the Yuan Emperor of China. And why he had sent? Because it is believed that when there were Himalayan expeditions that was led by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, many Buddhist monasteries were being destroyed. And one such Buddhist monastery was located at Sambhal in UP. So this ambassador, what we say, was sent in the court of Muhammad bin Tughlaq by whom? It was being sent by particularly Timur, and he requested that I want to reconstruct those universities which were originally being destroyed, particularly in the expeditions. And in that case, Muhammad bin Tughlaq supported the cause of the ambassador. Muhammad bin Tughlaq laid the foundation of the city of Jahanpana, located near Delhi. He laid the foundation of Adilabad fort. And finally, he ruled for 26 years and passed away. Many historians, after the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, writes in their book, like, Sultan is free from the people and people are free from the Sultan. So these are the words concerning Muhammad bin Tughlaq. There are many who write about Muhammad bin Tughlaq in a very different manner, like Ibn Battuta in his book writes, his gateway was never free from beggar, whom he has relieved, and never free from a corpse, whom he has slain. This was mentioned by him. Apart from this, Ziauddin Barani writes about Muhammad bin Tughlaq that he was mixture of opposites. Okay? And Muhammad bin Tughlaq also finds mention in Ziauddin Barani's book, Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi. Okay. So these are the major things about the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hope you understood the 5 experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Hope you understood the major expeditions led by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Diwan-e-Kohi department. Apart from Diwan-e-Kohi department, Muhammad bin Tughlaq also gave Takawi loans to the peasant. Now what are Takawi loans? Takawi loans are the loans on which the interest is very minimum. Like very minimum interest had to be paid by the what we say peasants. So he gave Takawi loans to the peasants to replenish the agricultural productivity. So these are the major things about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now, guys, today at 3 p.m., getting the points clear? Today at 3 p.m., we have a session, particularly a Zoom session, a live Zoom session with Praveen Mishra sir, where you can have a direct interaction with the sir. You can ask any question to sir concerning your studies, concerning your strategy for 2026, or whatever, which books to prefer, how we should approach the NCERT, what should be the basic strategy for answer writing skill. So there is a live Zoom session at 3 o'clock with Praveen Mishra sir. So please join the session. Okay. So guys, coming to the resolution batch. Uday, you have a question? Chinese currency? Yes. Yuan Emperor of China? Yes. It mentions Chinese currency, does mention that, Udayji. Okay. Now coming back to the resolution batch, the offer specifically, the batch will close particularly on 30th of June 2025. The price starting from 30,999, and use my code Alok Live to get the benefits of the batch. Time and again I've told you about one thing. answer writing plays a crucial role. And in these batches, I would be personally guiding you how to approach the answer writing, particularly from the mains perspective. What approach needs to be followed for the prelims examination? Apart from these, I'll also talk with you about the personality development traits which will actually help you out in the interview program. Interview, it's not only about the knowledge content that you have. It is also about the emotional quotient. And secondly, how to develop one's personality. I'll be speaking on those aspects. I'll be also speaking on how your hobby needs to be refurbished. So here the code is Alok Live, and in that case the batch amount is also not that heavy. It's just 30,999. So guys, yes, one more thing, those who are new to the platform can download the PDF of this session and the previous sessions from my Telegram channel, history_Alok Ojha. Apart from this, okay guys, yesterday I had taken a short video on the first judicial murder of colonial India, the case of Maharaja Nand Kumar and Warren Hastings. It's just a short video of 6 to 7 minutes. You can watch that video, a informative knowledge booster video. So guys, with this, I'll take your leave. Please do not forget to join the session at 3 p.m. It's a Zoom session and direct interaction with Praveen Mishra sir. Okay guys, thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Tripti, you will get the link of the Zoom. Thank you guys.